Yo, I haven't been there for a while. I was focused on university and actually I just graduated with a bachelor's degree in computer science. And you know what? About a month ago I started applying for jobs. I've sent around 50 to 60 applications so far and I've received only 4 responses. The rest either started with unfortunately or didn't reply at all. One of the companies didn't have great reviews about their working conditions. It was a software house hiring people without experience, but the team leader expectations were extremely high. It felt like they wanted a mid-level developer for a junior salary. I was also invited to a job interview. I prepared really hard. I revised object-oriented programming fundamentals and practiced writing SQL queries, but here's the surprising part, they didn't even ask me about coding. Instead, they asked questions about technologies that are rarely used by junior developers. In my opinion, that was kind of strange. Usually juniors are expected to have strong fundamentals, but the hiring deployment completely skipped that part and jumped straight into more advanced niche topics. And that made me wonder, are companies really looking for juniors anymore, or are they just looking for cheap mid-level developers? I'm still waiting for feedback and honestly, I don't know what the answer is going to be. To be honest, I've started feeling anxious about my IT career. I'm still improving myself, I'm still learning new things, I'm building projects and growing my portfolio, but despite all of that, I still can't find a job based on my skills. And I spend hours every day searching for jobs on Google. Maybe it's not a complete waste of time, but sometimes I feel like I could sacrifice that time to practice more, build better projects or improve my skills. Instead, I refresh job boards over and over again. I created a profile on LinkedIn, I started connecting with everyone I know, I wrote a solid description about myself, I linked my portfolio and I started applying, doing everything the right way. And you know what? Sometimes the whole process is just exhausting. Usually you can apply with just a few clicks and that's fine, but other times you have to create an account first, then confirm your email, then fill out a long form, upload your CV, and only after all of that you can finally submit your application. Okay, maybe it's such a small thing, but when you repeat the process, it becomes incredibly frustrating. By the way, I'm not really into LinkedIn. I only have an account there because I'm looking for a job. And honestly, it still feels strange to me, having a social media platform dedicated entirely to your career. Most people aren't there because they genuinely enjoy using it. They are there because they don't want to make their job search harder. It feels less like a choice and more like a requirement. LinkedIn has become something you must have nowadays. Hiring managers check your profile, they look at your experience and connections, they build a network around you, and that network can sometimes matter more than your actual skills. For me, it feels like we are losing something human there, because everyone is constantly talking about success and personal wins. In the past, it seemed much simpler. You applied to a few positions and usually you received a response. People weren't constantly broadcasting their achievements to the entire professional community. You can even buy LinkedIn Premium, which honestly feels ironic to me, because many of people actively using the platform are unemployed. And yet, they are expected to pay for better visibility. It's like a Tinder, you have to pay for your misfortune. Overall, companies nowadays expect you to have commercial experience even for entry-level roles. And that creates a closed loop. Because you need experience to get a job, but you can't get a job because you don't have experience. At the first time, if you know someone inside the company, someone who can recommend you to hiring managers, your chances increase dramatically. For example, a friend of mine from college got hired as a .NET developer. He didn't even have a proper portfolio. I've seen his GitHub, just a few small repositories only in Python and JavaScript. He didn't even have a real .NET experience. To be fair, I'm not sure whether it was an internship or full-time role, but still it shows how much influence networking can have. And here's the other side of the story. Even if you do get hired, expectations are intense. It often feels like you have to get 100% of yourself just to keep up, because if you don't, there are dozens of other candidates ready to replace you. You know, I actually started talking with an AI about my current situation. I wanted some tips for LinkedIn, how to improve my chances of getting a job. And ChatGPT called it a LinkedIn applying strategy. And you know what it said? Make posts about your progress every day. Comment on other people's posts. Invite everyone you know immediately. Don't just apply for jobs. Write about your projects directly to hiring managers. Send them messages about your newest GitHub projects. And if they don't reply, call them or email them. My first reaction was, what the f? I thought that kind of approach only happened in extreme cases. I ignored those informations and kept normally applying. Then, once a hiring manager actually called me. We talked on the phone for about 50 minutes about my programming experience. They told me they would probably respond in 2 weeks, which felt kind of silly to me, because why can't they just hire me? Unfortunately, they never called me back. When I told my friends about this, friends who are also looking for jobs, they told me I should call them again. Remind them that they called me 2 weeks ago. Apparently, that shows interest and increases my chances of getting hired. I still don't get it. Why should I put an extra effort? Everything I was supposed to do is already done. I submitted my applications, built my portfolio, prepared for interviews, so the rest of the hiring process should belong to the hiring management. And this feels like a really dehumanizing behavior from the other side. And all of this just makes me realize the whole system is broken. They want you to go to college after finishing high school, you sacrifice years learning, passing exams and building your degree, and in the end, you might still end up without a job. Recently, I was at a party with my friends. When I was talking to one of them, he told me that his girlfriend had graduated college, and it turned out she couldn't find a job. She even applied for a cleaning position because she was looking for a part-time job, and they rejected her because she didn't have an experience. I'm not sure if every detail is 100% accurate, but it seems like a very realistic scenario to me. And now, someone might say it's her fault. She chose a useless field of study, but the thing is, she graduated in one of the most common programs in our country. So yeah, it feels kind of terrifying for me. How many people are in the same situation? I guess a lot. Some might think that going for a master's degree would fix it, but to be honest, I really don't think so. Nowadays, the best thing you can do is get real experience and show it to hiring managers, because degree alone don't guarantee anything anymore. What do you think about all of this? I would really love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to share them in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!